All right, let's jump right in. We're going to talk about a skill that is honestly one of the most essential and yet one of the most overlooked skills in all of communication. We're talking about the art of active listening.
So, let me ask you something. When you think about what makes a great communicator, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For most of us, it's about being a great talker, right? Being persuasive, always knowing just what to say.
Well, what if I told you that's really only half the story? And honestly, it might not even be the most important half. Today, we're going to flip that coin over and look at the other side, the part that really separates the good communicators from the truly great ones. And this is where we get to what you could call the communication misconception. It's this super common idea that talking is, the active part of a conversation, and listening, that's just waiting for your turn to speak. And look, the stakes here are actually pretty high. When we fail to listen, it's not just about being rude. We miss crucial details on a project. We end up with frustrated customers who feel completely ignored. And maybe the worst part, we just lose out on these real chances to connect with the people right in front of us. So, okay, how do we fix this? Well, it all starts by getting one really important difference straight in our heads. And that's the huge distinction between just hearing something and actively listening. And the difference is, well, it's simple, but it's also pretty profound. Think about it. Hearing is passive. It's just sound waves hitting your ears, like the traffic noise outside or the background music in a coffee shop. It doesn't take any effort. It's totally accidental. But listening, oh, that is a whole different ballgame. It's active. It's intentional. You have to focus. Okay, so what exactly is active listening then? Well, here's a great way to think about it. It's the active process of really focusing on the speaker, showing them you're engaged, and this part is so important, responding in a way that actually encourages them to keep going. See, it's not just about soaking up information, it's about building a conversation together. And the best part is, this isn't some fuzzy, abstract idea. It's a real skill you can learn with actual steps. So, number one, you got to get rid of distractions and just focus completely on the speaker. Two, you paraphrase what they said, repeat it back in your own words to make sure you've got it right, like, so what you're saying is. Three, ask good questions to clarify things. And four, give those little engagement cues, nodding, making eye contact, the stuff that shows them, hey, I'm with you. Now, when you start putting all these pieces together, the effect is, it's huge. It unlocks something really powerful, which is what we're going to get into next, the power of being heard. So, why is this such a big deal? I mean, why does this matter so much, not just in business, but in our everyday lives? It boils down to something really simple but super important. When people, whether it's a customer, a coworker, or a friend, feel like you're truly listening to them, they feel valued. And that's a basic human need, right? We all want to feel understood. Let's make this super practical with a quick example. Imagine you're a server at a restaurant and a customer says this to you. Pretty simple statement, right? Okay, so the wrong response, the one that comes from just hearing the words, is to totally ignore that detail and just launch into your sales pitch, right? Oh, you should try our super popular sugary cocktail. The second you do that, the customer feels like you didn't listen to a word they said, and boom, trust is gone. But check out the active listener's response. It's totally different. They use that paraphrasing trick we just covered. By asking this, you're doing two amazing things at once. First, you're confirming you understood them. And second, you're showing them you're personalizing the experience just for them. And right there, that's the payoff. That one little moment of active listening, that's how you build trust. It tells the customer, hey, your preferences matter to me. And at the end of the day, that doesn't just make them happier. It's what actually drives sales. But, communication is a two-way street, right? Listening is all about taking information in, but great communicators are also constantly looking to see if their own message is getting through. And that brings us to our last big idea, the feedback loop. I mean, you can't just talk into a black hole and hope for the best. The really skilled communicators are always scanning the other person for feedback. It's almost like they treat a conversation like a car's dashboard. They're looking for all those little signals that tell them if they're on the right track or if they need to, change course. And these signals can be super obvious or they can be really, really subtle. You might get a clear verbal one like, yep, that makes sense. Or you might just see it in their body language, a little smile or a nod that says, I'm with you, keep going. Or maybe a tiny frown that tells you, I'm a little lost here. Just noticing these cues is only step one, though. The real magic is in what you do next.
The best communicators, they adapt right there on the spot. They see that confused look, and they'll pause and say something like, "Did that make sense?" Or maybe I can explain it a different way. They're adjusting their message in real time to make sure it actually lands.
And all of this brings us to what might be the single most important takeaway from everything we've talked about. So if you remember just one thing, let it be this: listening is not waiting for your turn to talk. It is not a passive break in the action, it's a completely active process. It's about genuinely engaging with another person and constantly checking to make sure that real understanding is being built between the two of you. So, I'm going to leave you with a challenge. In your very next conversation, the next one you have today, whether it's with a client, a coworker, or someone at home, I want you to just stop and ask yourself this: am I just hearing the sounds coming out of their mouth? Or am I actually making the choice to truly listen?